So we know that Top Gun 3 is officially happening, but there are a few things to think about though. First off, it really needs to dive into the story between Maverick and Rooster since Top Gun Maverick kinda brushed that aside. Also, let's not forget about Hangman. He's basically Maverick's true heir in the Top Gun franchise, and Top Gun 3 has to make that clear. Here's everything we know so far about the upcoming movie. It was pretty much a given that Top Gun 3 was on the horizon after Tom Cruise's epic comeback in Top Gun Maverick. Now, we're starting to see the future of the franchise and what this third movie might look like. Fast forward 36 years since the original Top Gun became a cultural sensation, and we saw Cruise slip back into the iconic role of Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell in Maverick, which reignited everyone's love for the character. The demand for a sequel was immediate. In Top Gun Maverick, we saw Captain Mitchell back in Fightertown, USA, training a new crop of pilots who claimed to be the best of the best. The film was packed with stunning aerial shots and nostalgia that paid homage to the original while bringing Pete Mitchell into a more modern context. It was a massive success, raking in around $1.4 billion globally and becoming one of the biggest hits of 2022. Despite all this, they didn't rush into making Top Gun 3, and it wasn't until 2024 that we finally got some solid updates. With Top Gun 3 still hanging in a bit of uncertainty, Glenn Powell recently dropped a little tease about the film while chatting on the Happy Sad Confused podcast. He cryptically mentioned, "I have a date," which hints that he might know when production is set to kick off, though he didn't elaborate further. When asked for more details about the movie, he playfully shut that down with a firm, "Absolutely not." There's been a ton of buzz about the sequel since Top Gun Maverick was such a massive hit, but it wasn't officially confirmed until January 2024. The announcement brought exciting news about Tom Cruise returning as Pete Mitchell, which put to rest any doubts about his involvement. It seems like many of the original cast from Maverick might come back too, with Cruise being joined by Miles Teller as Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw and Powell as Jake Hangman Sarrazin. While the ending of Top Gun Maverick didn't exactly lay the groundwork for a sequel, it doesn't need to. The story for Top Gun 3 will likely revolve around a new mission that pulls Maverick and the other pilots back into action. A plot twist could arise from Admiral Kane's plan to replace human pilots with drones, setting up a showdown where Maverick and his crew have to prove that humans are still better than machines. So while we're still waiting for concrete details, the potential for exciting character development and new missions definitely has fans buzzing. While Top Gun Maverick didn't highlight a key similarity between Maverick and his protege, Top Gun 3 has a perfect opportunity to explore a missed subplot involving Rooster. Sure, Tom Cruise's Maverick is the main focus, but Miles Teller's Rooster plays a crucial role in the sequel, serving as a source of much of its conflict. As the son of Maverick's late wingman Goose, Rooster grapples with his fear of flying and has a contentious relationship with Maverick throughout the film. Ultimately, he overcomes his fears in the thrilling climax and helps Maverick save the day. You'd think Top Gun 3 would easily move on from this dynamic, but it might not be so straightforward. The previous film centered around Maverick's grief and guilt regarding Goose's death, with Rooster's character helping him process these emotions. However, it largely overlooked a striking similarity between the two. Both of them had heroic fathers whose legacies they wanted to honor, even though it ultimately brought them pain. Interestingly, Maverick never addressed this connection during their interactions, which feels like a missed opportunity. In the sequel, they need to explore this shared history and how it has shaped their paths. Rooster is likely to return, especially since he was a central figure in Maverick's storyline, more so than breakout characters like Hangman or Phoenix. Their bond tied Maverick back to the original film, constantly reminding him of his biggest mistake while preparing for a dangerous mission. It's odd that they never discussed their fathers, especially since Maverick had previously expressed how much he wanted to live up to his dad's legacy after Goose's death. Both characters carry the weight of their father's legacies, which adds depth to their arcs. It's a striking oversight that they didn't acknowledge this connection in Maverick, especially given their shared experiences. Moving forward, Top Gun 3 should remedy this by allowing them to reflect on their common ground, especially now that they've moved past their earlier conflicts and can approach each other as friends. If Maverick and Rooster were to spotlight their similarities, it could set up Rooster to take over Maverick's test pilot role while Maverick stays on as a Top Gun instructor. It makes sense for Maverick to retire in Top Gun 3 since Top Gun Maverick wrapped up his story so perfectly, and Rooster is a solid candidate to step into his shoes. Sure, it would be a tough act for Miles Teller to follow, as Tom Cruise has always been the face of the franchise. But Rooster's backstory makes him uniquely qualified to become the new lead. By having Maverick emphasize their shared experiences while training Rooster, they could deepen their bond. This could also give them a chance to confront the lingering influence of their fathers, a theme that's hinted at but not fully explored in Top Gun Maverick. In this way, Top Gun 3 could beautifully tie the themes of both films together, enhancing the connection to the original. That said, I actually think Hangman is Maverick's true successor, not Rooster. Although Hangman plays the role of an anti-hero by clashing with Rooster and the other Top Gun grads, he proves himself to be the hero by saving Maverick and Goose from an enemy jet at a critical moment. His bold move to leave the Navy warship and defend his teammates, despite being ordered not to, showcases his tenacity. That climactic moment when Hangman swoops in to take down the jet is unforgettable and really cements him as Maverick's natural heir. Hangman embodies the duality of Maverick's character, but it's interesting that they hardly interact in Top Gun Maverick. Maverick's focus was on Rooster, stemming from their complex relationship related to Goose's death. While Maverick ultimately picks Rooster as his wingman, he doesn't choose Hangman, who is too much like him to fly alongside. Instead, Hangman operates independently, establishing himself as a Maverick in his own right and positioning him as the rightful successor to the franchise. Ultimately, Top Gun Maverick serves its purpose brilliantly. Bringing back the story of Goose and Maverick through Rooster is a powerful way to continue the narrative, infusing it with depth and nostalgia that's perfect for a sequel made decades later. Miles Teller really is the best choice to play Goose's son, and it's satisfying to see Rooster and Maverick rebuild their bond, but I think the franchise needs to evolve beyond this dynamic in Top Gun 3. Glenn Powell shines in Top Gun Maverick despite being in a supporting role. His chemistry with Teller mirrors the dynamic between Maverick and Iceman, played by Val Kilmer. Hangman's confidence translates seamlessly into his flying skills, and he has that intuitive edge needed for combat. His relationship with Maverick is quite different from the mentor-student dynamic Maverick has with Rooster. Hangman doesn't need guidance. Given this, Powell's Hangman deserves a bigger role in Top Gun 3 as he prepares to take the reins from Cruise. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.